the Spanish Inquisition.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, or hear I guess, I am using an AI voice to narrate this Warrior's Den overview. I've been sick the last week and essentially have little to no voice.
This is literally how my voice sounds right now.
I still wanted to put out a Warrior's Den overview vid though because we are getting a decent amount of changes and stuff that I wanted to go over. If you do enjoy the video, please consider taking Aztec and clicking that subscribe button, as well as leaving a like and comment. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The first big thing to go over is the new Warmonger hero skin, Conquistador Vela. The skin looks quite clean in my opinion, nothing incredibly groundbreaking necessarily but very well made and shiny. I also do think the radiating effect on it is kinda neat and makes it feel a bit more alive. Of course, this hero skin will be priced at $25,000 like all the others, but it's fine this time because Conquistador Vela brought back a ton of gold and wealth so she can just pay for it herself, right? Regardless, I do plan on grinding for this skin, but I would really like them to lower the price of these skins so they are more available to the masses. Maybe someday. Next we have the Battle Pass and Event Pass rewards and customization options. The mask effects look pretty decent, and the overall theme of gold with some blues and greens make for a lovely combination for the outfits and emblems. You also get a cute little snack on your shoulder that you can carry along with the teammates you find online in those Dominion lobbies. The Battle Pass execution is called Hot Potato, and features a particularly explosive uncooked French fry that you toss to an opponent. The Event Pass also has the Heap of Gold effect, although I'm not exactly sure what the conversion rate is from gold to steel, because I'd love to exchange all that gold for mountains of steel since I can't use gold to buy things on this game or The Battle Pass and Event Pass weapons also look beautiful, once again adhering to the gold and blue theme. While the Event Pass weapons seem to focus more on the blue, the Battle Pass weapons feature the gold more prominently. Either way, I'll be excited to unlock these as I naturally play the game. Next on the docket is the dev team's new onboarding flow, aka the training and tutorials. They have shifted a few things around with it and improved the UI so that things are a bit clearer for new players. They also added some new rewards if you complete all of this onboarding, so it's a nice incentive to actually go through it all. They even included some explanation of how Dominion works. I think that this is a small but incredible step forward in bringing in more players as the accessibility and skill ceiling of this game is not forgiving. It's a tough game no doubt, one of the toughest I've ever played. But these changes signal to me that they are willing to try to reinvest in older aspects of the game, not just haha here's a new hero and some fight changes every few months. They could fully flesh this section of the game out with veteran knowledge of hit stun, revenge tags, and other ways to bring your For Honor career to the next level, and I'm super excited to see where they go forward with this. Following this, they talked about some patch notes. Each will be featured on the screen, so feel free to pause the video if you want to take a closer look at them. Nuxia's previous testing ground changes they made to her are all being pushed through, and she looks like she's going to definitely be more of a menace. I do still think she needs maybe one other thing to her kit to make her a true force to be feared, but we shall see how things shake out after these changes come to live and are played overtime. After that, Warden was shown. They are speeding up as well as improving the trajectory of his side-heavy finishes, so these should be a little harder to dodge and give him a bit more reward for fully throwing the heavy when people dodge too early or too late, and should also help his group fight dynamic more. They also buffed his shoulder bash so you could go into it faster than before, as a lot of people would still just light him out of the move before he could even get it off. Following that, Hitoriki was up. They buffed both the opener and chain heavies in speed, as well as bringing back the original opener hyper armor the character had. This time however, they made it so the hyper armor can only start at 500 milliseconds for the regular starting heavy. Long story short, Hitokiri can heedy even more now. Aramusha was up next and boy golly he got a ton of changes. Finally we have Jormungandr, who got a bit of a quality of life change in that they can now perform their mid-chain hyper armor zone while not locked onto anyone. I'm not sure why this took so long to implement as it felt weird that you couldn't do it already, but I'm glad they put it in now as it felt weird to clear minions while in lock. Last but not least, we have the testing grounds. This time around they are speeding up a ton of characters' bashes to see what is the best speed for them could be, and really pledge for the community's help in testing these changes out specifically. At the more experienced or higher level, a lot of these bashes are pretty easy to see coming, so I definitely agree with trying out a faster speed on them to see if that would fix things. I also like how these aren't blanket changes, as every bash has different animations to it that make it easier or harder to read. The other testing ground change is part 2 of the Lawbringer rework. They noted that while they are still classifying him as a parry specialist, they want to shift him away from being a brick wall that just sits there into the more offensive direction they've been taking the game, and I fully support this, especially as someone whose first rep 70 was Lawbringer while playing him aggressively. Fighting games are about a balance of offense and defense. Throwing moves sometimes and countering moves other times. It's much more interactive and fun for everyone to be actively playing the game rather than just sitting there like a rock. You should not have a person just sitting there waiting for blocks and parries in order to punish you. I'll let this part of the Warrior's Den play so you can hear it straight from them, the direction they're going.
We're still pushing Lawbringer in the direction where we wanted him to go, which was have the hero that still has, he's still a parry specialist, right? So still really good at parrying, still has a lot of dedicated parry punishes, but at the end of the day, still be able to be a lot more offensive, because having super defensive heroes in For Honor, where your entire game plan revolves around, I'm going to sit here and wait, is not, it can be, I understand it can be fun for some players to play, right? Yeah. Totally. But it is not the direction that we really want to push the game towards. We've been doing a lot of strides, a lot of pushes towards having more unreactable offense, better offense, more offensive base gameplay, and not really go back to the turtle meta that we had at some point where all you could do really was just like stare in front of somebody's face, right?
Just wait.
Yeah. So that's not super interactive. It's not a lot of fun. And then fighting somebody that's a reaction monster that's able to do everything against you all the time did not feel good either. So with these changes, we're really, really pushing the hero towards a bit more like, yeah, you're still a parry specialist. Yeah, you still get a lot of options off a parry. But at the same time, you can actually attack people now, which is what's super important here.
Well, wow. So that's very in-depth. Thank you so much.
But enough of that, let's move on to what they actually did with Lawbringer. They stated that if it isn't mentioned specifically here, the changes they did in the previous testing grounds for him have remained. The first change shown is the fix to the awful animation they had for the mid-chain feintable bash. The new animation looks much smoother and more believable. Speaking of fixing animations, they also reverted the change that they did with his impale if you let go early. The previous testing grounds, if you let go early, your enemy didn't hit the wall, and when you pushed them fully into a wall you got a very janky hyper-armored heavy out of it. While on the topic of impale, they have made it so you cannot impale off of a heavy parry anymore, only a light parry. This is to further prevent ludicrous amounts of movement and damage off something as simple as a defensive heavy parry. They also removed the stun off of the light parry top heavy punish, as stuns in the game just feel bad to fight against and can be a bit strong with stamina pause as well. As they were going to go into the next changes for Lawbringer, this happened.
It used to do 32 damage. It now deals a much more respectable rate.
Yes! That's how it feels!
And it was about the funniest thing to ever happen on a Warriors Denver. Maybe now they'll get the message to prioritize the stability and health of the game. Anyway, back to our originally scheduled LB programming. They brought down the damage on all his unblockable heavies as they were putting out way too much damage over a short period of time. They took away the hyper armor on his finisher heavies, which I think is fine as they already have an amazing hitbox when group fighting, plus they never mentioned the hyper armor on the chain second heavy, so that will be staying and will help him in a fight. The nerf that made me the saddest was that long arm no longer pauses or drains stamina, so while it will still be a good setup move in group scenarios, it really has next to no usage outside of that. They nerfed the range on his back throw, as when he would do it you would basically be flung to the moon and made for some silly ledge or other environmental antics. Finally, they nerfed the damage of the light riposte on parry down to 12 from 16. 16 cheetah levels of speed damage for a heavy parry is insane, so I'm glad they toned that down a peg. Overall, I'm excited to try these changes out and hopefully they will feel a lot better than the previous testing grounds. The simple fact is that Lawbringer is a relic of the past, and they want to update him to current times. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry again that I wasn't able to use my own voice. I promise next video you'll be back to hearing my soothing voice wash over you wink. Until next time, stay turtly, stay awesome, and be well.